Travis Wayne Goodsell. Time for the news segment. First off, women, if you're doing Botox for cosmetic reasons, you're body shaming yourself. Cut it out. Stop using it. Enjoy your body. Don't give in to the peer pressure of needing to change. Alright, so I use ABC4 News Utah for the local news because the other stations don't cover as much unless there's breaking news. Utah hospitals are getting less capacity because of the increase over the weeks, and as it's going to continue, because Herbert's not wanting to reverse things, even though we're worse now when he first shut us down with stay home, stay safe, which Utah was in defiance. We are not staying home. My job is now essential, and I am staying on the job. Because they didn't want the $600 a month to replace it with, so they called themselves an essential job worker, and so Utah is now listed as the highest per capita of essential job workers, and coronavirus is now spreading in a later phase than the rest of the country because of this. Part of the problem that they're not addressing on the news that we've known nationwide, because everybody's doing it, is that they're not reporting the actual numbers. Gary Herbert, I've caught, as I've been keeping track day after day, what the different numbering is for each day, and seeing the rise occur, and nobody listening. And what I witnessed was that Herbert purposely controlled the number of testing per day to control the number of reported cases, and thus the number of reported hospitalizations, and thus the number of deaths. Because if you're not tested and you die or get hospitalized, it doesn't count because you weren't tested. Sort of like if a tree falls in the forest, did it actually fall, or is it fake news? And so those who do get tested but don't have severe enough symptoms to be hospitalized are being told to go home. That's also not being covered by ABC4 News Utah in their How COVID-19 is Impacting Utah Hospitals. They were given that order. They are not being quarantined if they have found to have the coronavirus. They're being sent home. So Utahns, being as dumb as they are, think, oh, I'm just fine. I'm going to go back to my normal life. Why are you popping up now? And so Governor Herbert lowers us down to yellow way back on the 15th. And so everybody thinks, oh, it's all clear now. We can go out and no problem, all is well in Zion. And what's really angering, Southwest Utah, down in the land of Confederacy, which if you haven't noticed, Confederate statues and all things Confederate are being torn down. Not here in Utah, not yet anyway. We have some stuff at Temple Square to be torn down, but they're demanding to go green. Screw the science. They can report all they want, but we're going to go green. And they're blaming Governor Herbert for not letting them go green. They're taking away their agency. Do we as citizens have the right to murder other people? It's our free agency, right? We can't be stopped. You can't control us. Don't want the government stepping in and arresting us for murdering somebody. We have our free agency, right? That's how they're thinking down there. This virus murders people. When you don't go outside with a mask, when you don't stay home, when you don't quarantine yourself when you're cleaning the streets, when you don't quarantine yourself, when you test positive, when you go back to your normal routine, going back out into the public, going back to work because it's an essential job, you are not only putting those you love, but others in jeopardy of their life, their right to life, liberty, and property. You do not have the right to take away another person's right. And that's what Southwest Utah does not understand. They are murderers, and they are demanding to be murderers and to be excused from any prosecution for their murders. This is Confederacy 101, and they're living it to the T. And they're Mormon. Unbelievable. And so Herbert, he's also to blame because he's not going back into orange, if not red by now, because it's worse than it was when we were at orange. And so we have another problem up in Logan, the JBS meatpacking plant. The employees are Hispanic. I mean, it was a little difficult to tell because they blurred her face and they made her a masculine voice with sort of a robotic, to hide her identity because she doesn't want to get fired. And so that's what happened. There's an outbreak at that plant. Dozens tested positive, but they can't quit because they won't qualify for the $600 a month. And the business is screwing them even more by not paying them the full 40 hours that they're working for them while infected with coronavirus. Right here in Utah. By Mormons who run the plant. Mormons, the people I was born and raised into the church of. Mormons are nothing but murderers. They hate human life. Prove me wrong. Southwest Utah? No, they want their agency, because Lucifer takes away agency. And so Lucifer's plan is to murder. No, Lucifer's plan is to murder. Because you're taking away life, the agency of others. That's just... Mormons are murderers. It's just horrific to find out that my religious people, my religious brothers and sisters, are murderers. You need more examples? Guess what's gone national? The Mormon couple who had an affair, murdered their spouses, and murdered their kids. Mormons, gone national. Murder, murder, murder. Murder to get gain. You know where that comes from, Mormons. Master Mahan, that I might murder to get gain. My people. And they just don't care, do you, Mormons? Because you're going to put a thumbs down on this video. Oh, they need to give me my agency to murder people. And then you think, oh, you have the air blowing because the landlord tried to murder you, and so we're going to make fun of your video and call it inadequate. Yeah. I'm being attempted to be murdered too, by Mormons. Wildfires, 26 over the weekend, and so they've got a fire splain to us. Breaking news, we're gonna fire splain. And so don't do Botox. Please don't do Botox. And don't do Plexiderm. That's just as bad as Botox. And that's what they're doing. They're blaming you. If you get coronavirus, you're to blame because you weren't doing protection. You weren't staying home, staying safe. But Governor Herbert lifted it. He went to, it's working. It's no longer working, if you noticed on their website, keeping track of the numbers. And then here's more hatred. LDS members march to the Utah State Capitol. They're risking their membership because you're not allowed to protest in the Mormon church. It's a sin. Did you know that, Mormons? It's a sin to protest. You're not allowed to criticize the brethren, even if the criticism is true. It's Elder Oaks in that PBS documentary. But it's the black Mormons wanting the church leaders to be educated on empathy. Empathy from church leaders who claim they speak the words of Jesus. Was Jesus not empathetic? Did he not heal the sick? Did he not? Well, he said it. It was after that they did the vow of consecration. All things in common. So there's, but he kept teaching to take care of the poor and the needy, to feed them, clothe them, and to heal the sick with coronavirus. And yet the church is doing nothing. And so yes, the church needs a whole lot of empathy for a whole lots of different things. Murder, murder, murder. Red rum. Alright. And then Romney. Everybody got fooled into thinking, oh, I'm voting yes on only one count, not the other count, which was most important. Unbelievable. So yeah, I'm waiting for the Judge Oberg to give the order to follow the Constitution, to follow the rules of the United States, so we can put an end to all this.